Julius is there from Finland. Acharya Pranam. What kind of a mind does the character of Ellsworth do he represent? Obviously, there is something malevolent about him, and even Catherine senses it. Even though she sees him as a gentle old man at the surface level, there is something powerful and scary about him. And the way Rand keeps telling about him indirectly only adds to this mystery. Please guide. Also, the very first chapter resonated very strongly with me, as Rock's views on architecture correlate with my views on music and my music studies. We are taught to appreciate and delve into certain musicians and genres and learn things the way they were done in their time, while in reality, none of these true artists became what they were by copying or idolizing the past. Their own voice came from their true understanding of the present. We are not encouraged to find and cultivate our own voice in school, and this saddens me, since music should be alive and fresh, a true expression of the artist's suffering and joy. What Ayn Rand has written about the rigidly architectural ideals of that time probably extends to even more fields than music. Why is it so? Why are we not allowed to be free in our respective fields? Why some people and phenomena are deemed worthy of studying and important and others are not? Are we secretly finding security in elevating certain opinions to the level of facts or even truth itself? Julius, we are the society. If in the field of architecture or music, it is happening that man is quite attached to the past, full of reverence, needlessly differential, then that is how human beings are. That's how you and me are. What do you mean by why are we not allowed to be free in our respective fields? Go into this sentence. Why are we not allowed to be free in our respective fields? What do you gather from this statement? There's you who is seriously trying to be free, and then there is the wicked society consisting of authorities and all those graying and foolish and dowdy professors, and they are not allowing you to be free, right? This is pompous self-gratification and self-aggrandization. When you say the society is a dog, who is the society, Julius? Oh my God. Who is the society? You and me. Go to any person and what would he say? Who is the cause of all his or her troubles? Others. Others meaning the society. So you blame the professor and the professor will blame the students. You have Sarkari schools in India, government schools, where neither students nor teachers come. You go and ask the teachers, why don't you go to the classrooms to teach? They say the students are such dogs. They don't come. Why should we waste our time standing to empty chairs? And obviously, if you go to the students, what do you hear from them? The teachers are all wolves. Come on. The teachers were once students, the students are would-be teachers. We are all one. Why blame others? We are all one in this game, and we are all together victims of the one common enemy. And that one common enemy is called Maya. It is called Prakriti. It is not you versus society. It is you and society versus Maya. Why don't you get it? Maya is not society. Maya is not even you. Maya is you and society, and you are the society, and the society is you. Is that so difficult to understand? It is difficult to understand if it is only because it is easy to lay blame upon others. Then we'll have a vested interest in not understanding the simple thing that I'm saying. Others, she did me in. Why is your life such a mess, kid? She did me in. Let not the Fountainhead become a means to abrogate responsibility. By constantly blaming this and that, what are you doing? What are you doing? Avoiding responsibility of your situation. I fully appreciate in the arts, in architecture, in music, in several other fields, it is quite possible that the authorities are acting in an orthodox, traditional, conservative way. Choose your word. But then look at everybody in general. Are we not all clinging to tradition in some way or the other? What is tradition? That which is coming from the past. What is the first thing that comes from the past? You. What is the first thing that comes from the past? You. Are we not all clinging to the past? Then why blame only the professors and the authorities? The day everybody will stop clinging to the past, the professors too would do so. They are just like you and me, Julius. No point acting clean and spraying all the mud upon the other. Are we getting it? Do we not cling to attachments from the past? Tell me, please. If the student is clinging to attachments from the past, what right does she have to blame the professor? Let's visualize a classroom. The professor is teaching relics from the past, ancient history, and he is glorifying them, right? And the student is busy fiddling with her smartphone, thinking about her ex-lover. Are these two different? What are these two occupied with? But we don't see that. Because the student is ostensibly modern. The student is wearing the fashion of the day. Big earrings maybe, a plunging neckline, a pair of jeans torn at the knees. So the student appears a bit modern. And the professor, he's wearing maybe the same suit that he wore for his own graduation ceremony. Professors love to do that. The collar is all frayed. The colors are all fading. So the professor looks antiquated. The student looks modern. The professor is busy digging up ghosts from the textbooks. Is the student also not doing the same? Is she also not digging up ghosts from her smartphone? Oh, all the chats, all the photos from a few years back. You would never say the student is so conservative because she looks hip, and she's young. She carries the accent of the day. Her slang belongs to the present. That's what you call as living in the present, by the way, no? The professor, his vocabulary belongs to the past. So he is a very, very easy target. You can very quickly label him as a leftover from the last century. The student, oh no. She belongs to today. In fact, she belongs to the future, you see. Is she clinging to the past or not? Tell me. The hurt of the past, the conditioning of the past. We all are living in the past, Julius. We are all just the same. No point saying that in the field of music, there is so much reverence to the past. The human brain is designed to seek security in patterns of the past. Please see that. The poor professor is just one of the victims of this brain. And the fundamental tendencies of the brain, the fundamental tendencies of the body are common amongst all human beings. The professor is no noteworthy exception. He is just one of us, a commoner. Do we see this? Please. Do we see this? Now, look at the language. I'll want you to analyze this a bit. We are not encouraged to find and cultivate. We are not encouraged to find and cultivate our own voice in school. Huh? How old are you, Julius? Talking the language of we and our? Isn't this collectivism even in the context of the MAC course and the Fountainhead reading? You really depend on somebody else to encourage you? In a collective sense, we are not encouraged to find our own voice, our own conscience, whatever. But that's how we all are we not? We live in collectivism, and there is a strong evolutionary reason for that. Man lived in the jungle. Was man walking alone, solitary? Man lived in man lived in a tribe. So the human brain is conditioned to talk the language of we and our. It's the same brain that you have, Julius, and the same brain that your authorities and professors and all other controllers of the society have. They all are talking the language of we and our. And just as you depend on somebody else to encourage you, that's what you're saying. You're complaining here. We are not encouraged to find and cultivate our own voice. Just as you want somebody else to encourage you. The professors are also depending on somebody else. Are you not in this statement depending on others? Please tell me. On one hand, you idolize Ayn Rand and Howard Roark and all her portrayals. On the other hand, you are demanding that somebody should come and encourage you. Is that not dependency? Please tell me, is that not dependency? That's how we are. And I'm not blaming you. I'm just revealing to you how we are physically constructed. Man talks the language of we because we enables him to have better chances at survival. When the lion comes to attack, the single fellow does not stand a chance. When the lion comes to attack, even the alpha male amounts to nothing. But when the lion comes to attack, then a herd of 20 talking the language of we would probably be able to repulse the attack. Do you see this? You might be the alpha male of the gang in the jungle. Broadest shoulders, supreme individualism. Totally unaffected by the society, caring for nobody else, walking all alone as Rourke does. But when the lion roars, then what happens to Rourke's? The roar will supersede the Rourke. Therefore, man has learnt to talk the language of we. Collectively, we all stand a better chance of survival. I'll correct myself. Collectively, we all used to stand a better chance of survival. Probably we still do. I'm talking of physical survival. And that's why the default mode of expression is not I, but we. And it will be even more so in the case of women. And the reason is obvious. Probably the man can survive all by himself for a few months, maybe even a few years. But the woman cannot. Especially the pregnant woman cannot. And in the jungle, the woman was always pregnant. There was no means of birth control. The woman and the man did not even know the process of reproduction. All they knew was how to fuck. Just as a rabbit knows. So the woman was always pregnant. Now tell me, how will the pregnant woman stand supported by her solitary I? What she definitely needs is company. She wants people around her. So she speaks the language of we and our. And she demands, you should encourage me, you should teach me, you should do good things to me, you should bring me stuff, you should take care of me. My headache is that all this is all right. It happens. Why does not even the woman of today realize that this is the jungle talking? And there are so many women who take pride in saying, I love to be pampered. I want you to take care of me. I love it when somebody opens the car door for me. I love it when somebody takes my bike and gets it serviced for me. Lady, this is not the jungle anymore. You are out of the Amazon. Lady, this is the metropolitan capital of one of the fastest developing countries in the world. You are not in the Sundarbans. But you are acting as if you still are. Lady, the jungle. It's almost as if man wants to avenge the jungle inside him. Hence he is chopping off all the jungles outside him. It sometimes appears to me that way. Because you cannot chop down the jungle within you. So you are playing a dirty game. You are bringing down the Amazon. Hell. How oblivious can we be to our inner state? It mesmerizes me. This is something I never failed to understand, I never failed to actually admire. How seriously potent is she? I do not know whether God has unlimited powers, but she definitely has. She can make an ass of absolutely everybody. There are just two kinds of creatures in the world: single asses and double asses. Double ass is the ass with his ass. The others are all ass. There is hardly anybody who has been able to call her out and stand free from her. Very few, and that too in episodes. Once upon a time, just as Rand says, it might have been necessary to have huge columns and bulbous domes and turrets, and as she derisively mentions, cornucopias and rabbits. All these were parts of the architectural landscape. At one point, they might have had some significance. Similarly, the we thing might have had some significance once upon a time. Does it have any significance today? It does have some significance today, but not as much as we accord to it. Is that not what Ayn Rand's major complaint is? That the architects of today, that is the 1920s, when the novel is set, that the architects of today are still behaving as if they are in the past. Times have changed, the brain has not changed, right? That's what she is constantly complaining. But then if you two are still talking the language of we and our and I need encouragement, then pardon me, are you not still behaving as if you are in the jungle and pregnant on top of it? It behoves a pregnant woman in the jungle to be constantly looking towards others for feed, motivation, encouragement, company. Are you pregnant? Then why do you keep looking for company? Are you in the jungle? Do you walk naked? Do you run after rabbits and frogs and swallow them whole? That's man's tragedy. His exteriors have changed, his interiors have not. Going by the motif of the novel, what would such a house look like, whose exteriors have changed and the interiors have not? You know what is the name of such a house? Man. The exteriors are changing with great rapidity. Technology, innovation, whatnot. Interiors, they belong to prehistoric times. And man is very busy, very satisfied as well, just looking at the exteriors, trying to improve them even further. Interiors, he does not bother about. It's a very strange situation, you see. We often think that there is stone and steel and brick and mortar and granite on the inside of a home. And outside there might be a jungle. That's how we visualize a home, right? Let's say a country home. Let's say a resort in a jungle. How do you visualize it? On the interiors, there is steel and cement and ceramics and development. Yes? And outside there is jungle. The reality of man is totally the opposite. Outside there is all the development, steel and cement and whatnot. And inside there is the jungle. That is our home. Outside there is technology and development and infrastructure and whatnot. Inside there is the roaring jungle.